Ooh, good evening. Okay. Well, some of us are here. All right, so good evening. It is an honor to present the 2022 ASH Research Achievement Award to Dr. Shaun Harper. I'm gonna pause for effect. Dr. Harper is currently University Professor, Provost Professor of Education and Business, and the Clifford and Betty Allen Chair of Urban Leadership at the University of Southern California. He's the founder and executive director of the USC Race and Equity Center at USC, as well as the founder and former executive director of the University of Pennsylvania Center for the Study of Race and Equity in Education. Dr. Harper has more than 100 scholarly publications, including peer-reviewed articles, book chapters, and policy reports. He has published 12 books. He has secured nearly $20 million from Gates, Ford, Lumina, Kellogg, and Sloan Foundations, to name a few. He has nearly 20,000 citations. His research and commitments to praxis and practice has allowed his expertise to be tapped by broad-reaching outlets like the New York Times, Washington Post, the Chronicle of Higher Education, NPR, CNN, Fox News, and the Wall Street Journal, to name a few. Among his numerous awards, he was inducted into the National Academy of Education, the premier organization recognizing scholars whose careers produced high-quality research to improve education, policy, and practice. One nominator noted, quote, "I am perhaps most grateful for Shaun's commitment to efforts to transform the academy, leveraging scholarship to inform the work of institutional leaders and policymakers," end quote. Dr. Harper has initiated several multi-institution consortia to collectively address racial inequities and promote justice in higher education, including the Liberal Arts Colleges Racial Equity Leadership Alliance and the California Community Colleges Racial Equity Leadership Alliance. Another nominator wrote, quote, "Dr. Harper has made significant contributions to research, most notably in the area of Black men in college. I'm most appreciative of the fact that Dr. Harper's work is always conducted rigorously, grounded in theory, and offers sound implications that can be easily translated into institutional policies and practices to support Black men in college. His National Black Male College Achievement Study, a 20-state research project with successful Black undergraduate men, remains the largest, most rigorous, and robust study of its kind. His work addressing these challenges Black men face in accessing and attending colleges, as well as their roles as graduate students, athletes, and high achievers at diverse institutions, has been published by many, including the Institute for Higher Education Policy and the Joint Center for Political and Economic Studies. He also served on President Obama's My Brother's Keeper Advisory Council and the Education Policy Committee for the Biden-Harris campaign. Y'all, I haven't even scratched the surface of Dr. Harper's work and contributions. I want to circle back to Dr. Joy Gaston-Gale's presidential address this morning, where she said, "We have to do work that matters to the people." And as he centered in his own ASH presidential term, power to the people. A quick experiment on impact. If you count Dr. Harper as a mentor, collaborator, former or current instructor, or advisor, or your advisor was his advisee, raise your hand and keep it raised. If you've cited his work in your own work, raise your hand. If you've used a book that this man has contributed to or published in your coursework, or raise your hand. At this point, everyone's hand is likely raised, and it is just about. So as Dr. Harper makes his way to the stage, I'd like to share a quick story from a Penn State program alum about impact. Quote, One day, I felt defeated, overwhelmed, and confused. Making my way to Shaun's office, I was a wreck, and he took me in. He shut the door and he talked to me. There was no blame, no interrogation. He just listened as I tried to make sense of a situation. Before it was a conference theme, Dr. Harper humanized higher education for me. Thank you, Dr. Harper, for being a possibility model to so many of us, a model of what it means to be a scholar and to live authentically and be for the people. Congratulations, Dr. Harper.